Microsoft Copilot is kind of a joke. It's basically just this little AI tool that goes on your computer, and it helps you do things on your computer if you don't know how to use a computer. At this very point in time, it is a pretty useless piece of software. I'm sure someone could find a use for it. It doesn't work well for searching though, which is like the main reason you would want to use it. And every ad I've seen for Copilot is just Copilot doing the most basic task imaginable, and it would be 10 times faster to do it yourself. And I don't see a world where Windows will be faster to use with Copilot. I just don't. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it'll be useful eventually, but as of now, it's like a big dumb toddler. And Microsoft just recently announced a new feature for Copilot called Recall. And Recall is basically just spyware. It'll record everything you do on your PC at all time. Now, in Microsoft's defense, they do say this will be saved on your local storage. Do I believe Microsoft when they say that? No, absolutely not. I don't believe Microsoft for a second when they say that it's only on your local storage, because this is exactly the type of data you would want to train an AI to do things. So I am really skeptical of this being only local storage. Microsoft says it's only local storage, but I do not believe Microsoft. Or at the very least, it's going to be local storage for now, and then later they'll have a silent update that shares the data with Microsoft. Something like that. I just don't trust Microsoft. But basically this recall feature would record your screen as you use it throughout the entire day, and you could go back and forth during the day and see what you did during the day. And you could filter out apps you use, and you could filter out what time you did stuff. This could be a useful tool. I just don't want Microsoft to be in charge of it. I also don't really understand how this is like AI recall. It's like literally just recording your screen and then saving the video file and then letting you go through it. I don't really understand how this is AI involved at all, but you know, that's the new buzzword, AI. Now this feature is only for Copilot and Windows 11. So if you don't have Copilot, there's no risk to them doing this automatically. This is only a Copilot thing, and you also have to pay to be able to do this. So unless you're paying for a Copilot subscription, this will not be a thing on your computer. This feature also won't work on pretty much every single Windows 11 computer because the spec requirements for this are insane. This new feature will only work on Windows PCs with the Snapdragon X AI processor, because this recall feature requires 40 tera operations per second, and you really don't have to know what that means besides the fact that it's a lot. For comparison, the Intel AI processor is about 11, and the AMD one is about 16. It's asking for a lot of power, and on top of that, it requires 225 gigs of storage, which isn't that much for saving videos of your desktop, in fairness. That's probably the most reasonable requirement. And then it also requires having 16 gigs of RAM, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I imagine you're probably gonna want higher than that, because this thing is probably gonna eat RAM. I mean, either way, I'm not gonna be using this, because I don't want Microsoft constantly recording my screen. They are not gonna do good things with that data. Yeah, sure, it's saved locally for now, but I don't trust Microsoft. The advertisement for Copilot is also really bad. It's very confusing, because on the Windows Twitter account, they tweeted this ad, and this ad is exclusively about Copilot in Windows 11. But for some reason, they tagged on stuff to this advertisement like high storage capacity and all-day battery life and more Windows. And first off, high storage capacity, no, that's not how that works. This is not a computer. This is the operating system. Just because a computer is Windows 11, it doesn't mean you get more storage capacity. That's stupid. All-day battery life, okay, yeah, I doubt that. It's a Windows computer, no shot. And the worst offender, advertising more Windows. This is the opposite of what every Windows user has wanted from Microsoft for years. We want less Windows. Microsoft, less Windows, not more. We want Windows to go back to just being the operating system instead of trying to be literally everything on my computer, because Microsoft sucks at it. They're not good at doing anything besides making an OS, and they're not even doing a great job with that recently. The ideal Windows is just Windows 7, okay? I just want a start menu that works. I want my files to be on a computer, and I want to be able to do stuff on my computer. I don't need Copilot. I don't need themes. I don't need any of this stuff. I'll get third-party apps. Windows was just so much better when all it tried to be was Windows. Microsoft trying to be everything doesn't work. They're bad at it. Because if they weren't bad at it, my Windows 11 install wouldn't still have two separate settings menus from different eras of Windows. Like seriously, I swear to God, this control panel has been used since Windows 7. Why is it still here? And then why do I have to use it for certain settings? Why? It just makes no sense. And Microsoft Copilot is not gonna fix Windows. It's just not going to. Windows is fundamentally flawed, and Microsoft Copilot is useless. Like, how many of you guys need tutorials on how to do the most basic things imaginable? Because I'm assuming the answer is like basically zero. And if you do need help, you probably just Google it, because you're not brain dead. The way they've been advertising AI feels a lot like how people in like the 80s thought AI would be. Like, oh my God, it can do all this basic stuff for you. which is cool when you're thinking about it in like a retro future kind of way. But when you're actually living in it, you're like, why do I need Copilot to like dim my brightness? I could do that myself and it takes 2 seconds. They also showed this ad of Copilot teaching someone how to play Minecraft, and it's just so cringe. It teaches the guy playing how to do the most basic thing imaginable, which is like craft a sword, and it tells you to do it over voice, and it watches your screen as you play, which is already kind of weird. But looking up how to craft a sword in Minecraft would be infinitely quicker unless you type like a turtle. I also don't want a robot telling me how to play my games, okay? I already don't like people backseating in general. I don't want a robot backseating my goddamn game. And I can't imagine anyone who plays games would do this. What's the point? What is the point in playing a game if you have a tutorial bot telling you what to do the entire time? I don't get it. And in that Minecraft Copilot video, Copilot's trying to talk like a person, and in the process just takes way longer to give you the information than necessary, and no person who's played the game would ever teach you like that. They'd be like, yeah, just get 2 pieces of cobblestone and a stick, and there you go. You got a sword. I'm just not impressed at all. And the only thing Copilot seems to be is spyware to train it better, so it sucks less. But I still think it's always gonna suck. At least this version of Copilot, like, what is this thing gonna do that I can't do? It just seems pretty useless as of now. That's not to say it couldn't be useful in the future. Just as of now, it seems like its only trajectory is to be useless and even more useless. And the whole thing with them recording your computer while you use it, yeah, if that becomes a normal feature, I'm switching to Linux. I don't even know where to start with Linux, but I will gladly switch to Linux the second they try to record my screen and upload it to Microsoft HQ. I'm not gonna be a guinea pig to train Copilot so it can actually open a file. If an AI can't figure out how to open files on its own, it's too dumb to exist as of now. And on top of Copilot having all those problems, it's still a ChatGPT bot, which means it hallucinates, it gets information wrong, and it does that confidently. If you were to use this for summarizing an email that you got, like they show you doing, there's a non-zero chance that the summary is just incorrect. And the second that its summary is incorrect one time should be enough to make people not use it ever again, because it's kind of an important thing to be able to do if you're an AI. And I imagine your boss would not be happy to hear that, hey, I messed up because I had an AI summarize your email because you're boring. I doubt they'd want to hear that. I also feel like AI just hit a wall as of recent. Like, yeah, there's been some improvements for sure, but overall, this software just seems to be stuck in a perpetual state of being kind of useless. Like, seriously, what can you do with AI that people already don't do, or what does it make faster that people already do? The answer I've come to is basically nothing. The most useful feature for AI would be finding information that you can't find on the internet, and it can't do that. It's more useless than Google. So what is the point in this thing existing? Like, sure, maybe it'll be useful eventually, but just like the Rabbit R1 and the Human AI Pin, these features are useless. Now, don't get me wrong, the Human AI Pin and the Rabbit R1 are infinitely more useless than Copilot. And being able to record a video and have an AI tell you what something is, or take a picture and have AI tell you what something is, or look it up, is a cool thing, but we've also already had that for years. It's called reverse image search, and it's worked really well. So I just don't see AI becoming useful anytime soon. And I could be totally wrong on that because it is advancing really quickly. And that's not to say it's totally useless, but Copilot and apps like it are pretty useless. AI as a whole has its use cases, but an AI on your computer that gives you Minecraft tutorials is pretty useless. And even if that's supposed to be a demo just to show off the feature, a demo is supposed to give me a use case. That's not a real use case. That's a made up use case for dumb people. A good demo would give me a useful use case that I would be able to incorporate within my life, not how to make a sword in Minecraft. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. New follow me on Twitter @spatnz. One click answer, check out more of my content, and have a good one.